This is the Marketing Made Easy for HR Consultants podcast, a show to help independent HR consultants get a pipeline of perfect fit, high-paying clients without expensive adverts, time-consuming social media activities, or energy-sapping and monotonous networking meetings. I'm your host, Nick Paninsky, author of How to Land Your Dream Client, a book which explains everything you need to know to get every sale and client you ever want. And if that sounds interesting, then make sure to grab your copy from the influential consultant website today. That being said, let's get into today's show. Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Marketing Made Easy for HR Consultants with me, Nick Paninsky. Today, we're very lucky to have a guest with us, Lisa Gillbe. Lisa Gillbe is a personal stylist for over 14 years now, and she's the host of one of the UK's top-ranking podcasts, Style Stories. So make sure to check that out when you get a chance. Today, she's going to talk to us about personal style and why it's so important. And then she's going to give us some takeaway tips to implement today to improve your wardrobe and your smart casual look. Thanks for joining us today, Lisa.
Well, hi, Nick. Thanks so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it's taken a while. I think we first started talking about having you as a guest, 2-3 weeks ago? It was the Angela Raynor, our Ange.
Yes, Angie, my post on LinkedIn that sort of went a bit viral, I think, if that's what I say.
Absolutely.
It was around the election, so I think that helped. People's minds were in that zone.
Yeah, well, I think as well, it was like that visual comparison. It was very, the first picture, she was just okay. She looked okay, but then the second one was power. And I think that contrast, that really spoke to people. So that was a great post.
Thank you. Yeah, I just thought I saw that picture, and pictures, you know what they say, pictures paint 1,000 words, and sometimes a visual is a lot more, you can really see what I'm explaining without me actually having to explain it in words. It was just two pictures of Angela Raynor 5 years apart. One when she was looking, like you say, fine, and she looked okay. And in the second picture, side by side, was her wearing block colour red, like a really powerful colour, but wearing really kind of slick professional clothes. And the contrast was just so obvious. It just really made my point. It was like, invest in yourself and look powerful. And now, obviously, she's the deputy PM. So
yeah,
come a long way.
She looks like a deputy PM
and
in that post as well.
The part, exactly.
Yeah, which I think leads us nicely on to, what you're going to talk to us about. So personal style, why it's so important. So let's talk about personal style. What is that?
Yeah, so it is really important. And the thing is, what I wanted to talk about today as well is that lots of people think it isn't, and they don't realise that it is. And, they don't really pay attention to what they wear. And actually, it's something that people can be quite dismissive about, and sort of, think to themselves that it's a frivolous pursuit to be interested in clothes, in fashion, in style, all that kind of thing. But I'm here really to explain today why it matters and why it pays to pay attention to it. Because actually, it's a really powerful tool that you can have in your toolbox, in life. Because at the end of the day, like it or not, we all judge people on appearance, not even consciously. It's a subconscious thing. Unconscious bias is totally a thing, and it's part of the human condition. We assess situations and people. Am I safe? Do I trust this person? Can I relate to this person? And that happens in a 1/7 of a second. It's a tiny amount. So they always say, you've always heard, you've got seconds to make a good impression in an interview, for example. Right? It's true, because they literally size you up as soon as you walk into that room. And also, say if they're seeing lots and lots of people in one day, it pays to be memorable. So to stand out, but in the right way. And, also, so all this serious stuff, there's a lot of psychology behind it, because clothes really do change how you feel. They can make you perform better. They can make you feel more confident. And there's a lot of psychological science-backed evidence to prove all of that. But as well, it feels nice to feel good in your clothes. And there's a lot of joy to be had in wearing a great outfit. So
100%
there as well. There is some fun.
Yeah, I'm with you completely. I think, it's unfortunate, but we do judge people by their appearances. And like you say, it is about that safety. It's about, can I trust this person? What do I think of this person? And there's only so much we can do with our facial expressions and our words, but the clothes, that stays there all day long. It says who we are as a person without us even potentially realizing it. And I'm completely with you, Lisa. Clothes make us the man.
They do. Do you know what they really do? So you mentioned first of all my LinkedIn post. So I do quite a lot of posts on LinkedIn, and very often I get quite dismissive comments. I would say that's how I would describe them on my posts. But I like that. It's all good. You should definitely push boundaries and things like that to get the attention. But people will say, so for example, on the Angela Raynor one, let's use that as an example. I had loads and loads of comments, and everyone was like, "This is a great example of someone who's progressed in their style and looks more powerful now, has stepped into the role." And then someone put, "I prefer to judge my politicians based on whether they can do the job or not." It was sort of like, yes, of course. Of course, I wouldn't vote for people based on the fact whether they wear a nice dress or not. I want to know that they can do the job 100%. And if I was interviewing someone for a role, I might be impressed with how they look. But at the end of the day, of course, I want to know if they can do the job. What I'm saying is that it just helps you to get ahead in a competitive world, and it pays to pay attention to what you're wearing. You can then be the whole package. So, you can get ahead of your competition and stand out, but in the right way. And, since the pandemic, dress codes have really, really relaxed. And actually people are hybrid working now as well. So, I used to go and I work with a lot of lawyers, bankers, professionals, people in that kind of traditional environment. And before the pandemic, they would have been in the office 5 days a week. Absolutely. Now, nearly everyone I see, I have to say to them, "How many days are you in the office?" They'll say, "Oh, just 3 or 2, and the rest of the time they're at home." So the needs that we have from our wardrobe have changed.
Yes.
And overall, people are dressing more casually. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But I do think you need to have a balance, and that it's prudent and it's savvy to have a few smart things in your wardrobe to create that professional image.
Yeah, 100% with you on that one. I think, I remember when I worked in HR, the HR director said to me a couple of times, like, "You dress too casually," because we didn't have a dress code at site. So to fit in with what I thought the culture was at site, I tended to dress down. But for him, for the HR department, I would dress too down. And like you said, now you have to find that balance. And now we're working from home more. I'm in a plain white tee right now. It's smart casual, I hope.
You know what, Nick? I love a plain white tee. Every wardrobe needs a plain, crisp white t-shirt. It brings everything together. I always recommend having a plain white tee. So
excellent. I've chosen well this morning.
Chosen well. You're on style.
Excellent. Yes, love it. Okay, well, that's good. So I think we've covered off that that it is important. I think we can all agree, especially as well. We do judge people by by how they look, right? I mean, let's take it down to its basic level. You see a beggar on the street, you know that they're a beggar based on how they look. You see a police officer, they've got a uniform, you know whether you can trust them. And obviously, when it comes to HR professionals and other sorts of professionals in the office and at home, we are going to judge them based on what they're wearing. So I think we're in agreement there, Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, I said right at the start, I said some science, there's this, it's science backed basically, that there's psychological benefits to dressing well, and it can change how you feel and how you perform. There was this experiment done, and they split people with equal intelligence and capability and everything into 2 groups, and they gave them all a white coat, but they told one group that the white coat that they were wearing was an artist's smock, and they told the other group that they were wearing a doctor's coat. And the people with the doctor's coat actually performed better, like much higher on a lot of tasks, because it really does elevate you mentally. You know, we're quite complex creatures, really. And,
Yes.
you know, if you dress in a professional way, say if you're walking on stage, you've got a presentation to do, you've got an interview to go to, you're on a panel talk, you know, any of these things that you might have to do at work, or you've got to pitch for some business. If you look professional and you feel professional, you will perform better. To be looking kind of scruffy and, you know, wearing really worn out shoes, trousers that are faded with the knee gone, you know, sweat stains on the collar, like things like that, you know, that it happens. I've seen people wearing that kind of thing in a professional environment. That's going to go against you. But some people just, it doesn't even cross their radar.
No, it
You know,
doesn't.
it
Yeah.
doesn't. And yeah, I like dressing casually. I am not a classic dresser. You're not, you know, my job is in the shops. I go to people's houses. Go in their wardrobe. Like this week, I had a 5-hour wardrobe edit where I was just
Wow.
going in, you know, getting all the clothes out of drawers, putting things in bin bags, reorganizing it. I have to wear clothes that suit the job that I'm doing. And then when I shop with a client in the shops, I'll wear something a bit more, you know, on trend of what I like to wear that suits my personal style. But I'm always wanting to look quite professional and pulled together. I would say I
Yeah.
like to look pulled together, you know, like I've got an outfit on. And there are some, you know, tricks that I can give and some tips about how to do that.
Looking forward to hearing it. I think
Yeah.
I think that's a good one, because as you say, like, I think a lot of people know that they need to dress well. I don't, you know, I think obviously we're in agreement, but how do people go about doing that? You know, you're the expert, so yeah. I mean, let's have some tips. Let's have some good information from you, Lisa.
Right. Well, the first thing to do, always, every good wardrobe starts with a declutter without fail. I guarantee everyone listening, and probably you as well, Nick, you've got loads of clothes in your wardrobe you never wear. Things that
Yeah.
are dated. People wear around 20% of their wardrobe. It's in the morning, you hone in on what's easy, what's to hand, what's quick. You know, you might have a wardrobe full of practical clothes. So, you know, the only coat you've got, for example, is a North Face rainproof coat, right? That's all you've got. You haven't got a nice, smart wool coat, for example. So if you go to an interview or anything else, you know, it's nicer to have that professional coat in the wardrobe if you need it. Declutter and make sure that your wardrobe suits your lifestyle and you have the right things in your wardrobe to suit your lifestyle. So if you're hybrid working, you're in the office only a couple of days a week, make sure you've got enough clothes for that. And the rest of the time, you're probably going to be in casual clothes. Obviously, we all need practical clothes. We need raincoats and things like that. But it's all about balance. It's about making sure you've got a balanced wardrobe and you have a few smart items in there. So for guys, I would say, you know, a nice pair of smart chinos would be good because it's better than jeans, because not everywhere allows you to have jeans.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, I do like just a plain crisp white shirt and a plain blue shirt. So I'm not talking about turning into some kind of fashionista here. It's like, you know, it's just having a few smart things and then an unstructured blazer. So I'm talking for guys now. So an unstructured blazer is just like a kind of jersey blazer, so a soft blazer. So it's not as formal as a normal suit blazer. And it just would look really nice. You can even wear smart trainers. I think a lot of places you can wear like leather trainers. So don't wear, a big tip, and I see this quite a lot, is don't wear gym trainers with your chinos and your smart clothes, because it just drags down the whole look. So just, you know, a smarter pair of navy leather, black leather or white leather trainers that are nice and polished, and you don't wear them to the gym. You know, that would be my recommendation. And also to have a nice bag to put your laptop in. You know, don't rock up with a scruffy rucksack. You know,
I have a scruffy rucksack.
Yeah, these are the things that we go all the time. And you know, with ladies as well, it's sort of, there was a time when everyone was wearing tailored shift dresses. So boardrooms up and down the country were awash with block colour tailored shift dresses. That's quite a dated look now. So I'd say, you know, edit the wardrobe. Don't hang on to things that are from a past version of you. We evolve all the time. We change as human beings. If you're still wearing things that you wore when you were in uni, maybe it's time to kind of, switch it up. It depends how your lifestyle has changed. If you're more senior, do you need to dress with a bit more gravitas? Do you need to spend a bit more money on the clothes that you buy? Because that's another thing people have. They have a money mindset issue when it comes to clothes. So they say they spent 20 quid on a top. They used to spend £20 on a top in uni. They still can't get past that £20 mark sort of thing. But that's not going to buy you anything today, because obviously everything's gone up, cost of living, everything has rocketed. But it really does pay to have a few quality items in the wardrobe. So less items, but better quality. So decluttering opens the gates to a new, refreshed you. And, to take a Saturday and just get absolutely everything out and really think, is this who I am today? How do I want to be seen? What is my identity? How do I want to appear when I go to meet someone, when I go to the interview, when I walk onto a stage, into a boardroom, into a meeting, whatever it is? What are my clothes saying? And a really good way to think about it as well is to think of 3 words to describe how you want to dress. So,
like your personal brand, hey?
Yes, it's like personal branding. And, I like to look relaxed, feminine, with edge. They're my 3 words. I wouldn't wear a pretty dress with pretty shoes. That's just feminine. I need some edge in there. So I need a pair of boots or something to make it feel like me. So really just declutter and then try to get a handle on how you want to, who you are today and how you want to dress, and use 3 words. And mood boarding is really good. Pinterest, throw some ideas on Pinterest. Pull, outfits you like, don't overthink it. Put in for you, Nick, men's smart casual outfits, whatever, and then start pinning looks and then describe it. It might be muted, maybe it could be colourful, edgy, rock and roll. I don't know. I'm just like pulling words out.
Yeah.
There are loads of things online now on Google about finding your 3 words, and it's so useful because it just helps you to narrow down choice and to just be a bit more focused with your wardrobe.
So, I've got loads that I want to say. So it's really good that you talked about the price point, because the way that I think about clothes, and this is going to sound a little bit silly, but like if I was going to spend £50, for example, on a shirt, it sounds like a lot, but then I think to myself, well, will I wear it 50 times? Yes. Would I pay £1 each time to wear this shirt? Yes. In which case, it's worth £50. If I was going to wear it 100 times, then I've got a bargain because I'm only paying 50p each time. That's kind of like how I got past that mental block that you talk about, with that 20 quid for a top or whatever. I don't have that anymore, because now I think about how often am I going to wear it? What kind of wear am I going to get out of it? And therefore, is it justified?
That is 100% right. And, I see wardrobes that are just stuffed full, not necessarily men's, but definitely women's, stuffed full of cheap clothes, but they haven't got any outfits still, because they just add volume. So they feel like they haven't got an outfit. So instead they'll buy, maybe a cheap dress. Money mindset is a huge problem, actually, to hold back wardrobes and make them confused and over cluttered. This shirt I'm wearing today, right? This is, my mindset's probably warped, but this is from a lovely boutique, and it was £160, Nick. That's just,
wow.
I know, but I have worn this to death. I literally it works for so many things. When I'm on a podcast, when I'm meeting one of my clients, when I'm doing a wardrobe edit, when I'm doing, I've lost count of the amount of times I've worn it. But if I had 5 cheap shirts, I might wear it and think, I don't really like this because it doesn't feel nice. The material's not nice. I don't feel that good in it. So yeah, this is an expensive blouse, and I don't have lots of really expensive things in my wardrobe, but cost per wear and how I feel in it and the image that I project in it is absolutely spot on. So, I'm really happy with this. And I would rather have one of these than 5 cheap shirts.
Yeah, fair play. It's a good looking blouse. I like
Yeah,
it.
I love it. It's got big statement sleeves, everything. So I'm like all over this. Thank you.
Yeah. Fair play. I like it. I guess my other question is, I got two more. When you talk about those the free words, is there a website perhaps that you can, not your own, just out of interest? Is there a website where you could go on and say what free words that you want to look like, and it would generate ideas and throw them at you? Because that would be really useful.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I've got a free masterclass where I do cover a bit of the three words. So if you go to lisagilbystyle.com/free, I did it. It's a new one for 2024, so it's quite recent, and that helps with that. But if you've got to think, how do you like to dress, right? So if you like to be, I think you like to be casual. You've given me some clues already. You said, so
Smart
most
casual.
people do, though, comfort, casual, but would practical be a word? No, I don't think I would like to look practical,
No.
so relax is a better word. So I would use relaxed.
Mm.
And then, feminine is something because that refers to dresses and everything. So that's why I use that. But for you, it could be maybe you just like muted colours, or you just like,
Yeah.
things like that. So you've got to think about the colours that you're drawn to. The thing is that you go to a men's shop floor, and it's just a sea of navy, isn't it? Blue.
Yeah.
So you
We
don't.
don't have many colours or many options. Makes
You
it
don't.
quite easy for us though, because
Yeah,
then there's no analysis paralysis. I'm just like, well, I've got a t-shirt or a shirt or a jumper. That's it.
it's really. I tell you what, I would really recommend you do. And if we meet in real life, Nick, I will do your colours for you. But get your colours done,
Okay.
because that is so helpful. Because men look great in colour. Like men now, there is a lot more choice actually out there for guys now. It has changed a lot in the last few years. But you are either spring, summer, autumn, or winter. And the key thing to know is, have you got cool undertones in your skin? So have you got blue, cool undertones? Or have you got warm yellow undertones in your skin? So depending on the undertones, that's the sorts of colours you suit. Then you can choose colours that really make you look fresh, healthy, rested,
How
all those
interesting.
amazing things. And it's getting your colours done is just super useful. So I do it as part of my wardrobe edit, but Colour Be Beautiful do it. You'll have a local person that does it, and you get a little swatch book of your best colours, and you can get a specific men's swatch book which has shirt colours, shirt combinations in there, all the colours that suit you, and it's just great for narrowing down choice, and
Yeah.
and then curating your wardrobe so that it's not only suits your personality and your lifestyle, but also your colours as well.
God, there's so much to think about that I never even, because I know that I want to look good because that's important to me. I want to create the right impression, but hadn't really thought about all the other stuff that you're talking to me about now.
Yeah, but I know. Do you know what though? Too many rules can be restrictive. I
don't think of them as rules. I think of them as, helpful pointers, guidelines, extra things to think about,
Yeah. It's like having a template. It's like having a bit of a style template.
Yes.
And people get overwhelmed. There's so much choice. We are bombarded with choice every day. And there's been some study done as well that nowadays we are, we make hundreds and hundreds of decisions every day, and we are looking at our phones, and we're being advertised to, and we're looking here, there, everywhere. And the shops is overwhelming. So just to have some sort of template and narrow it down is helpful, because we're all busy.
Yeah.
It saves a lot of time and money, actually, and mistakes as well.
Yes.
Doing things randomly and not really knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and you don't want to go too far to the extreme of trying to avoid making these decisions, like Steve Jobs, who only ever wore jeans and a polo shirt and white trainers. That was all he ever wore. And you don't want to be doing that. You want to make, have a bit of a wardrobe, but ultimately having too much choice and not knowing where to start, that's not a good place. So I guess that takes us nicely on to, let's have some takeaways for our listeners. So where should they start? I think you've mentioned the free words and the colours, the free template colours. So let's start from the beginning. Talk us through this.
Well, I would say just there are three pillars of style, really. I would just start with the declutter, and
Mhm.
then I would get your colours done, and
Okay.
then I would work out your style personality, how you want to dress, what is your style identity? Are you quite formal? Are you quite classic, maybe? You know, if you're classic, you like simple lines, you like things that stand the test of time, you like quality, you like everything to be a bit low key. Or are you a bit more creative with your style? You know, do you like to be playful with it? Do you like quite a sort of out there jacket? You know, something a bit interesting. You know, you've got to sort of try to nail down style personality. That's really important. And then lifestyle is the other one. So make sure your wardrobe works for your lifestyle. There is no point having a wardrobe full of Louboutins, high heels, and tailored fitted dresses if you're working from home most of the time and you live in the countryside. Maybe once upon a time you were a high powered lawyer,
Mm.
and you went into the office every day in that kind of attire. We have moved on from there. Also, as I mentioned before, you evolve as a person every year, every minute, every day. You're always evolving and changing your opinion and your outlook and your perspective and all those sorts of things. So it's just really important to step back and just try to get rid of clothes that were from a past version of you, and
Mhm.
then become the version that you are today. And using your clothes to do that is really helpful and empowering. And it really can give you a huge confidence boost, and other people start to notice. They'll notice that
Yes. Yeah.
positive ripple effect throughout life. It really is a powerful thing. So I don't understand why people think it's frivolous. And it so I do sort of stamp my fist up and down, stamp my foot when people are, dismissive about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's especially, yeah, I'm completely on board with you. The only thought that's running through my head is you should write a book, because there's so much to think about that I hadn't even considered it, and I'm kind of like, well, where do I even start? And obviously, you don't have a book, right? You've got
No,
what have you
I
got? Share some information. Well, where should someone go to get help from Lisa?
Right. Well, few people have told me to write a book, Nick. I just feel like I haven't got the time. The thought of it fills me with horror. I've got a
Right?
lot to say on the subject.
Yeah.
But my friend who wrote a book, she was up at 5 a.m. every morning writing this book. I was like, I don't think I'm a 5 a.m. girl, but I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe. But I would say if you want some like tips, I talk about this all in great detail on my podcast. And I
Okay.
go through how to declutter. I go through how to find your personal style. I have got a podcast episode all around finding your three words. I have got a free Facebook group, which is called Style Power with Lisa Gillbe. So I've got lots of resources. If look on my website as well, where I've mentioned earlier, lisagilbestyle.com/free. I've got some free resources on there as well. I do shop with guys as well. I would say that most of my content is aimed towards women.
That's absolutely fine. Most of my audience is women.
Definitely on my podcast as well. That's sort of mostly it is.
Yeah.
But I do occasionally do blogs and things with things I recommend for guys as well. But yeah, that would be, I just think I would want to say that people don't sort of take a step back and look at their style at any point, never mind every year. I recommend doing it every year, but people just sort of bumble along because we're busy
Yeah.
and buy things randomly on the heat of the moment because they've got an event coming up. They're just, oh god, I've got this, I'm doing a panel chat next week, what the hell am I going to wear? And then they'll sort of try and grab something in the shops. But just be focused about it. Try to take that step back and do all the things I've mentioned today on the podcast, and you'll just have more joy, get more joy from your wardrobe, joy and confidence. And it is one of the fun things about life. And also, if it's something that's bugging you and frustrating you, the great thing is it can always be fixed. It's something that can always be fixed.
Yes. Yeah. Very true. Very true. It's never too late to have a better wardrobe.
No, exactly. It's not, don't think I haven't got style, I've never had style. If anyone's listening thinking that, or you've never paid attention to it, have a go. And it really has hugely positive effects.
Perfect. Cool. Well, I'm 100% in agree with you. And thank you for joining us today and sharing this information.
Are we going to go shopping, Nick? Maybe we'll go shopping one day together.
You come up to Manchester then.
Quite good shopping up there. Yeah.
There is. Yeah. We've got loads of good shops up here. We've got a Selfridges. So,
Perfect. Excellent. Right. Let's book it in.
All right. Excellent. Love it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for joining us. If you're listening along, you know where to find Lisa Gillbe. You'll find her and also her podcast, Style Stories. But that's it for this week's episode. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in a week. Bye. Bye for now.
Bye.
Hey there, and thanks for listening to the Marketing Made Easy for HR Consultants podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, then please consider taking a moment to help us grow by sharing the episode with a friend or colleague, or by leaving a positive review on podchaser.com. And make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming episodes. I've been your host, Nick Paninsky, and if you have any questions or want to know more about today's topic, then reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'd be delighted to hear from you. See you next time.